All right, good morning. So today we're going to take a look at how to make some different graphs in Google Sheets. So the first thing we're going to do, we talked about this today in class, is how to make a pivot table. Okay, so again, highlight the data. This computer's being a little laggy, so you'll have to pardon me on that. Come on, baby, you can't. Oh, no, never mind. Mr. Groom screwed up. Mr. Groom is the one that's laggy. There you go. Just highlight the data, dummy. Don't highlight the columns. Anyway, here we are. And scroll down a ways, and you will also have some data. This is just the data I am practicing with currently. And so, where is all my data? I missed some of it. There we go. Get over there, stupid. There you go. Ta-da! And then if you go up here, and I hid my menus, so if you click down, you can open your menus again. And if you go into data, I believe, no. Oh, damn it. Is it insert? Oh, for the love of Pete. I know where it is in my stupid, I know where it is. It's right there. Pivot table. Insert. That's where it should be. That's where it is in Excel, but I didn't think it was there. So let's go ahead and create it in a new sheet. So it created a sheet for you called Pivot Table 2. Okay. And so what we're going to do is this piece here is the part that matters. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is this. It tells you what's over here. So Mr. Groom wants to, I'd like to have personally a chart that shows me whether people, what kind of ice cream they like. So I'm going to click on add. I'm going to click on ice cream. And so as you see, you put ice cream over here. Well, I want over here, of course, is the values. So I come over here and go down to values. On the values, I'm going to go to ice cream again. So what that does is it goes through and sums it up. And it says that 66 people like chocolate ice cream, 46 like maple nut, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay, now what I can do with that data and what I want you to do when it comes to the graphing assignment that I'm going to have you do in the next couple of days. And this part is critically important, okay? Because we are just going to take this data and we're going to transfer it to a different page and we're just going to make a graph over there, okay? So this is how it's going to go. I'm just going to Control C. Just going to highlight just it, not the total, just this part up here. And then there on the plus, I'm just going to click it. And this is the sheet that I'm on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click it and I'm going to go to rename it. And I'm going to call this, like, let's say this is problem 1 on my assignment, if you will. Or whatever, right? So now it's here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that data in, Control V. Okay? And for some reason, it brought that total with me, so I don't really care. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to highlight the total. I'm just going to ignore the total. And I'm going to go in here to Insert Chart. Okay? Now, the best part about this chart, when you do this, the kind of the cool thing about Google Sheets is it will default to a group. So it sees that kind of data, again, categorical data, or sometimes called qualitative data, and it goes, oh, I bet Groom wants me to make a pie chart. Nice. And so it does. That's one of its defaults. It takes a look at it and it just thinks, well, probably pretty easy to do that. Now, again, why do we like pie charts? Pie charts are huge from the standpoint of they break things out by percentages. Okay. So again, we talked today, if you're sleeping 20 hours a day, well, I'm no rocket surgeon here, but that's, it's 5/6 of your day you're asleep. It's 83% of your day you're sleeping. Bro, you got a problem. You should probably get that looked at. If you're spending 75% of your take-home pay on food, yeah, it's problematic, bud. Why are you living in a cardboard box? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. Yeah, we want to know. So that's how it's going to be out there. Now, you can, once these are up, and I'm just going to go ahead and do this one here. This is favorite ice cream. Maybe this is, so I don't want to count out. That sounds stupid, but maybe favorite ice cream flavors or something like that. Something that is descriptive. I hate when I look at a chart and it doesn't make sense because somebody's got a stupid title on it. So again, if you have a lame title, right? Just ice cream. Okay, what does that mean? Is ice cream sold at the store? Whatever it is. When I was a kid, uh, kindergarten was only a half day, so this might have been in Mrs. DeRue's. That's how you spell it. DeRue's. Oh, no, gotta get an apostrophe in there. Some kid's gonna yell at me. You're illiterate. That's true. AM kindergarten class. Oops. 1975 or whatever. You know what I mean? Oops. Well, not that. No, you don't. That looks stupid. Whatever, or something along those lines, right? That would be very descriptive. And so when you came back to look at it, I'm like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's this pie chart about? Oh, that's what it's about. Okay. We're going to be as descriptive as we can. So on the assignment that I'm going to give you for just practicing making graphs, it'll be data very similar to the data I just gave you. And so from that standpoint, you're going to kind of fudge it a little bit, right? So it might just say ice cream flavor, favorite ice cream, whatever. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. It'll sometimes say this count of, just lose that. Just lose that. Now, the assignment that you're going to get from me, from moi, is going to be on a giggle sheet, and it's going to be in a giggle sheet, and it's going to be posted on Canvas, and you'll turn it in on Canvas and whatnot. But the questions will be something like this: make a pie chart of favorite ice cream flavors. Nice. Anyway, this is what I want you to do. After you've made the graph over here, boy, my computer is laggy today, bro. If you right click on the graph here, or sorry, if you just click on the graph, you should be able to just Control C, that is copy it, and then come over here to this giggle sheet where I'll have for you. Boy, this thing is slower than molasses. And paste it in. Now, here's the key. This is huge. You want to paste unlinked. Now, in the old days, in Excel, they didn't give you that option. And what I always tell the kids, so what would end up happening is that now let's say you go back and change the data. Guess what? The chart updates in Word. What? Correct. And I told kids this for years. I showed them how to do it so it was unlinked. Okay, there's a way to do it back in the day where we take a picture of it actually. And we copied it as a picture. But this one girl didn't listen to me. It was actually Mr. Sumption's youngest daughter. And she came up to me and she said, Mr. Groom, I just went to turn the assignment in, and all I have is 20 of the same pie charts. I said, did you paste it as a picture? And she said, no, was I supposed to? And I go, well, yeah, because every time she changed, let's say she's on problem 19, she changes the graph from the previous one with the new data she's making. And guess what she gets? All the other previous 18 graphs become the same graph. She was not pleased. Now, the way the Google Sheets does it now is when you go to paste, it says, do you want to paste linked or unlinked? We want unlinked. That means this graph will not update and change. Why the heck would I want to update? Great question. Suppose you have to give a presentation at work, let's say once a week, once a month, and the data is the same data, but it updates. And so I always want to have an updated chart this week. Okay, well then what I want to do is as the numbers change, as the daily sales totals come in, as the number of referrals, whatever it is, comes in, my graph automatically updates. Okay, now you can actually have that linked actually on a website. So as things change during the week, the number of ice cream cones you sell, of what kinds, flavors, or whatever. Let's say Dairy Delish publishes what flavor of ice cream it sells. And that chart would just be constantly changing a little bit day by day by day as the new data came in. That's what linked means. But we don't want linked, we want unlinked. I paste it in, Huzzah! And there it is. Okay? Done. And life goes on. Okay? Again, we like pie charts because pie charts tell us percentages. And what do percentages tell us? They allow us to quickly surmise it. Look at this. You're like, I'll be darned. In Mrs. DeRue's kindergarten class, 1975, 40% of the kids were really smart, obviously, because they love the best kind of ice cream there is, which of course is obviously strawberry. Okay? And so you look at it and you're like, all right, right on. I can see that quickly. This picture just pops and stands out to me. I love it. I will say this, if you're doing pie charts in Excel, and I'm sure there's a way to do it in Google Sheets as well, there is a way to change these colors. Please don't spend an inordinate amount of time on changing colors. Okay, I believe if you right click here on that piece of pie, oh, no, here we go. Under chart, if you click on it, you go to chart style, you can actually change some of the colorings. You can change some of these things here. Now, by the way, this is the newest thing that people are coming out with. It's the donut. For God's sakes, don't do that. Okay, let's keep things. What you want to do is you want to keep things as, so I clicked on the blue piece right there. I can actually change it if I wanted to, make it look like chocolate. See that? The only time I really changed it is if I was doing colors of car and green came out pink or something. It used to drive me nuts when those girls would walk around with the pants. They were like blue shorts or something. I don't remember. It was like, this is 15, 20 years ago. But it would say pink, but it'd be written in a different color, and it would just freak me out. I'm like, that's not pink. And it would drive me nuts. And so if it's colors, I think it's nice that, green matches up with the word green, matches up with the paint color green. But that's the only time I fool with it. Other than that, I really don't fool with it a lot. I just kind of leave it alone. Once in a while, they will pick kind of an obnoxious color, and I'm like, I'm not into that. So again, if you want to change this green one so it looks pink like strawberry, just click on that, and then you can go in here and sure that looks like strawberry. Sweet. Okay? And those are the sorts of things that you can do from it there. Now, you can also do this. Let's say that you want to pull this piece of pie out and this is a big deal. In a presentation, I'll do that from time to time. I'll just pull that out. Like if I'm making a presentation, what I'll do is I will have this graph here on one slide. You see this? You see this? Okay, and then I'll on the next slide, I'll have this pulled out and go, are you kidding me? 40% of our kids, can't pass a reading or whatever it is, because this is a big deal for me. Okay, those are kind of the things that I will do with a pie chart. I really, and when I say really, I really dislike a pie chart that's too fancy, that's too much, because I lose my train of thought when I look at it. One thing I do want to notice in here is that under chart style, no, it's under here somewhere. Where did it go? Damn it. For some reason, and I don't know what happened to them, the percentages went away. Oh, label, font, no. There should be percentages. If there's not percentages, you screwed up. Okay, I don't know where they went. Damn it. Well, where did it go? Anyway, the percentages went away. I always want percentages on here. I'm not sure how to even turn them off because I'm not even sure how I turned them off. They're always on. That's the nice thing about Google Sheets. Google Sheets always leaves, well, always. They always start off with, I should say, percentages on here. Oh, here we go, slice label. There we go, percentages right there. Okay, we always want percentages on. Okay, not actual numbers. For pie charts, by definition, are about percentages. Now, I kind of like them here in the middle of the pie better, but I don't hate this one over here with their callouts. Okay, I don't hate it. Either way is fine, but they need to be labeled with percentages. By the way, you'd be surprised. This looks like 25% to me without even the numbers here, but a lot of people go like, I don't know, is that 10%? No, stupid, it's 22%. Okay, that helps people. Again, the whole point of a graph is to make things better, make it easier. Nice. Now, sometimes I don't want percentages. I want actual numbers of data. Okay, and for those, we're going to do this. Make a column chart, often referred to as a bar chart, of car colors, car brands. Yeah, sure, brands. Sure, why not? Okay, cool. So, not a BART chart, not Simpson for God's sakes, a bar chart. Now, I will say this. The technical thing is when they go vertical, that's technically a bar chart, or that's a column chart rather. If they go sideways, that's technically a bar chart. Okay? Mr. Groom will not get mad at you in either way. Okay? Now, why is this not coming back? Where's my pivot editor? Pivot editor. Now, once in a while, this will happen. The pivot editor should have come back. I don't know where it went. Typically, if you click on this, it comes back. Okay, well, that's good. I didn't want to do that, but if it's going to be that way, it's going to be that way. Okay, I don't care. So again, over here, there was a deal before that allowed me to make my pivot table. It's not coming back. Oh, no. Go back to the original sheet, and you can just insert another pivot table if you like. Okay? And, yeah, sure, why not? There it is. Now, again, this sometimes disappears, and sometimes it comes back. It's called the pivot table editor, and theoretically, up here somewhere, you should see it hiding, but I didn't, after it goes away. Normally, when I click off of it over here and you click back onto this, it comes back. And I say that's normally, but from time to time, you just don't know. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go to brand of car, and I'm going to go to brand of car. Maybe I am. There you go. Boom. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy that data. Again, I'm just going to move this to a different page. I like to get in the habit of this. You don't have to. I guess technically you can make a different pivot table on every page and make a bunch of different. It doesn't matter to me, I guess, either way you do it. This is how I get in the habit of doing it. Okay. And again, down here somewhere, I label this, I don't know, problem 2. Maybe I label this problem 2. Or maybe I name it, brand of car, whatever. Okay. But what I'm going to do then is going to highlight this data like I did before. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to insert chart, and it's going to say, oh, hey, it's not going to ask, it's just going to make a pie chart. And I'm like, darn it, I don't want a pie chart. So if you click here, you can click actually on column chart. You see that? And it gives me some suggested column chart, combo chart. Don't do that yet. We'll worry about that later. And bar chart. So I click on this guy here. Boom. There they go. Now, a lot of kids, now this is branded car versus branded car. This is terrible, Mr. Grimm. This is just brand of car. Brand of car what? I don't know. Brand of cars sold in May at our dealership. I don't know. I just work here. You with me? Or an Emirates or whoever, right? Now, a couple things to think about this. Some people, when they get on this thing over here, anyway, I'm going to bring this back up over here. Okay, I want this thing over here. Anyway, some people are like, oh, Mr. Grimm, I totally want to change the colors of these. Refrain from that, please, okay? Don't make it weird, because all I do is obsess. This is people like me. All we do is obsess about the colors or whatever, okay? It freaks us out. I personally don't need to see you put a number on these, okay? That's clearly 70-something cars. You with me? But if you want to, what you can actually do if you scroll down here a ways, you can actually come down here to, I can't remember what's on the stupid Google Sheets. No, try again. Oh, data labels right there, baby. What? And it puts it on there for you, and you're like, oh, that's 69 Ford sold this month. All right, whatever. Sometimes that's helpful. I mean, I personally can look at that and go, yeah, it's about 75. Told ya. But there you go. Now, this particular kind of chart, Okay, it's column chart. It's just an easy, quick way of seeing, obviously who is the most popular. Now, there's another kind of chart that we also talk about sometimes that is similar to this, um, but it's a little bit different in that it's actually sorted by highest brand. Okay, so when you look at this, or favorite brand, I should say, right? So what a guy can actually do with this situation, if you come up here to data, and you can create a filter, nice. Oops, daisy, and then I can actually filter this thing. Notice I've highlighted both of these. You with me? I can actually sort Z to A. And so, why didn't you sort, you loser? Okay, hang on. Undo, undo, Control Z, undo, undo, undo. There we go. So if you highlight, as I said, if you highlight these guys, try again. If you highlight the data like so, notice I copied up here on this guy and I drug it down and across. And then if you go sort Z to A, we're going to go from highest to, why aren't you sorting, you hippie? One moment, please. Mr. Groom's I'm having an issue. Stupid Google Sheets. Okay, so I have solved my problem. So what had happened was, and I forgot this step, when I copied this, Control C, and I went into my new worksheet, okay, this is important. This is important for what I want to do on this particular problem. You understand? What I want to do is I want to separate it so that the highest bar comes first, okay? So to do that, I need to be able to sort the data, which is fine. The problem with that is I need to be able to sort it. I need to be able to do it as values, because when I copied it over, it was still in quote unquote a table format. So you're going to paste special values only. Okay, see that? So I didn't bring the total with me. Remember last time I said I didn't want the total, but it came with me anyways? Well, here's the problem. Okay, so this time it didn't come with me. So that's right. So now I've highlighted these two columns. If they're not, make sure they are highlighted. This data, just highlight it. And then go to data, and then go to sort range, and then advanced range sorting options. So the data has a header row. So brand of car, count of brand. So we want to sort it by this guy. We want to go from biggest to smallest, from Z to A. And so notice it's 74 than 15 right now. Boop, flips it around. Now, when you go to insert your chart, now it still gives me a pie, but I still don't want a pie. So I'm going to go to column chart. And this thing right here, okay, it's still brand of car, or brand of car sold, or whatever. Make it sense. Brand of cars sold, at wherever, right? Dot, dot, dot. You make it good, okay? But this particular guy right here is what's referred to as a pareto chart. A pareto chart is a column chart or bar chart, either one, that starts with the highest bar first and then tails off down the line, okay? Anytime I ask for a column chart, you can always do a column chart in whatever order they show up in, or you can do a pareto chart. Now, typically, in the old days, we always preached all column charts or bar charts should be Paretos, because it starts off with the most popular first, right? Why would I want BMW? Well, first of all, why would I want a stinking BMW, number one? But number two, that BMW, why would I want that tallest bar to be over on the side somewhere on the right, whatever? It's weird. I want to see them in descending order. This is most popular, second most popular, and so on. And so when I do this, I'm going to copy this guy, Control C again, pasting it back into, again, unlinked, paste it over here. There it is. Boom. It is. And so when I say make a column chart, that is a column chart. It just happens to be also a Pareto chart. It's like saying a square is a rectangle, right? It's just a specific kind of rectangle. Pareto chart is a column chart or bar chart, regardless of whichever one you do. But it's a specific type that goes from highest to lowest. That actually makes the most sense. Again, you are trying to You're trying to point out which is the most popular. That's kind of the whole point, and that's part of the story you're telling people here. Hey, at our car lot, we sell mostly BMWs, okay? And so that's part of the story. And so I want to tell that story without confusing anyone. Okay, so pie charts and bar charts. Okay, those are huge. Okay, this is just for categorical data. Okay, now it's possible that a guy wants to do more than just one thing. Here we've looked at just brand of car or just flavor of ice cream, but sometimes there's two categorical variables that actually go together. What do I mean by that? Well, for instance, suppose that you sell cars and there's, BMWs, Fords, whatever, but you also sell them in different colors. And it's possible. Now, I think we sold probably enough BMWs here that we could probably make some kind of a statement, for instance, like the pink BMWs aren't selling. And I'd want to know how many of each of the colors we sell at the same time. So what I could do is I could technically go in and make pie charts for each one of the different brands, which I could totally do that in a minute. There's actually a chart that combines the best of both worlds, okay? And it's called a stacked bar chart. Oh, rats. Oh, poop. Undo, 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 undo. Oh, redo, redo. There we go, down here. So make a stacked bar chart. Well, I usually call them bar charts, but column charts is the technical name for brand of car and color of car. Okay. And so what this is going to actually do, and you're going to see this in a minute, you're going to be really excited when you see this. I cannot stress to you. Like in a minute, Allison's going to be just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. No, I really think you are. Probably not. Anyway, here we go. So again, it's going to make a new pivot table. And this time I'm going to put brand of car on the rows and values. Okay, now this is huge. Brand and brand. Same as before, Groom. I know. But check it out, bro. On the columns, look what we can do. Color of car. No way. No way. For real. Way. So check this out. So same thing as last time. I'm going to copy this data set. Boop. And I don't have to copy and paste as values unless I want to. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it this time just because that way, if you're doing it that way every time, it always is going to work out for you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't need this total column. You can lose the total column. It's not necessary for what we're doing here, okay? Now, if you highlight this data, this is kind of nice because Google is, I hate to give them, but you got to give the devil his due. They're pretty smart. They're like, dude, is that what you want? No, silly goose. That is the same information. That's the same information. Notice that they screwed up the red and the green and the silver. That's going to freak me out in a minute. Are you with me? So later on, we're going to fix that. I'm not going to fix it. This one here, I hear, is called a side-by-side bar chart. Here's the Dodge, and here are all the different colors for Dodges. If you are interested in specific actual numbers, because that's what's happening here. This is the actual number of all the different colors that they're selling. Okay, this is the actual number of each of the different colors of Fords that they're selling. Okay, or whatever. If that makes you happy, then that is the car. That is the one that you want. Okay. So this breaks it out. By the way, this breaks it out by Ford, Dodge, Chevy, what have you. Now, interesting to note that down here, if you want to, you can actually switch the rows and columns. So here are all the white cars you sell, and most of them, as you can see, are Beamers. See that? Here are all the silver cars, and of course, most of them are Fords, if that makes you happy. If that doesn't make you happy, then you leave it this way. Now, back up here, the one I want is a stacked bar chart. But Mr. Groom, it's almost like they're pie charts. Yeah, Mr. Groom calls them brownie charts. Am I right? Do you get it? Wink, wink. You see that? What we've done here is we've gone in and we've changed it, and we're saying, listen, here's all the beamers. As you can see, a tiny percentage of them are, green because, of course, it's red, whatever, right? This one's gonna, that would bother me, so I'd probably go in and I would change these. So if I click on this green one real quick, which is supposed to be silver, somewhere down here, oh, it's right there, stupid. You can actually change. Oops, no, that's not right. Hang on. You should be able to change the fill color right here to, yeah, silver. Yeah, that's better. And then red, well, let's change green first, I guess. Let's change that one. Go down here to where it says fill, make that red, make that green. Oh, that's hideous. And then make the yellow, which is, not yellow. Let's make that one red. Because that's going to freak me out. You with me? Now it looks right-ish. I mean, that's not white, but you get the picture, right? One thing I do like about Google Sheets is they typically come with a white background. So for years, I've taught this class using Excel, and Excel gives you a bunch of standard setups, but one of the standard setups they push you to use is a black background. Let me tell you right now, Mr. Groom used that one time uh, in a presentation, and which it looked great up on the board. But when I went to hit print to hand out my slides, having black backgrounds on your slides, it clogged the printer up so fast it made your head spin. Oh, it was horrible. And of course, when did I go to print them? Like, 20 minutes before the thing. Oh my gosh. Talk about stress, friends. Talk about stress. But this is what we call, again, a stacked bar chart. Here is basically, right here, this is basically a pie chart for Ford. We almost don't sell any white Fords. We sell a lot of silver, apparently. Okay? Look at the Hyundais, for God's sakes. We hardly sell any green Hyundais. All right? What does that tell you? I don't know. Maybe quit stocking those things. All right? Maybe quit buying, because you just a used car lot. Maybe quit buying the stupid green Hyundais. Nobody wants the stupid things because we're clearly not selling them. Now, there's not enough Chevys here to make a statement about, like, well, you didn't sell any Chevys to speak of. So, yeah, you might just say, well, it's about selling Chevys. Okay, I could get down with that. But by saying it as a, you know, but by saying, well, listen, this is enough data to make a statement. It's not enough data to make a statement about what color of Chevys to buy, because you only sold 15 total cars, right? If you had said to me, Mr. Groom, turns out I really don't like, I don't know, let's say Hicks, okay? Well, how many have you met? 2, and I don't like all of them. Wow, that's kind of judgy, bruh. That's kind of judgy. Okay. Maybe you need to meet a few more of us before you start making judgment call. Because yeah, the first impressions, it's the same thing. It's that same idea. First impressions matter, all right? Someone you see, you make oh, I got a couple bad experiences. That's terrible. Yeah, okay, cool. But what if once you get out there far enough? Okay, yeah, you are right. If you see enough data to back up your conclusion, okay, here we go. For right now, I don't sell enough Chevys to be able to say, yeah, red Chevys don't sell. The Chevys in general here aren't selling. Is that because I don't stock them? Maybe. Is that because I don't have enough of them on the lot to really worry about selling them? Maybe. So when we look at this data, we're just showing this is what the data says. Okay, this is what the data says. I might have a pile of Chevys out there. I'm just not selling them. And if that's the case, then quit stocking the dumb things. Okay. And it doesn't matter what car it is. All right. It could be a situation where I want to sell all used cars. All right. But then you find out all you really sell is Toyotas, Hondas, Fords, Chevys, Dodge, whatever. Then quit stocking. Don't go buy any dumb Kias or BMWs or this or the other. Stick to the things that are selling like hotcakes, right? That's the thing that matters. Same as restaurants. Restaurants do this all the time, like smaller restaurants. Do I want to have 37 menu items, or whatever? Well, these ones never sell. So this halibut that I have in stock, no one orders it, and all it does is go bad, gets freezer burn. Well, then don't stock that. But I like it. Well, eat it at home. Serve the things that matter: the macaroni and cheese, and the Caesar salad, and the hamburgers or whatever. Okay, if those are the things that sell, then stock just those things. Okay. It's the same idea, but again, you can't tell if you don't have enough information out there. One more time, Control C, and then come back over to your deal over here, and we're going to go ahead and right click it in, and we're going to paste, and it's going to ask, and I want it unlinked. Okay, That's what we will be doing. Now, these are the graphs, the big graphs that we will be doing for categorical data. Now I'm going to show you a couple more that are kind of cool that once in a while you'll see in a publication or something, but I've never made one, and I just think they're kind of neat once in a while to see them. The reason I don't use them very much, I like to stick to about 3 or 4, now about 4 particular ones that I use for categorical data, is because if you get too fancy when you're making a presentation, you lose people. Oh, look at those colors. Oh, what's that about? Oh, the whole point is you're supposed to be presenting. Okay, people, by God, pay attention. This is what we're doing. This is our quarterly sales. Blah, 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 blah. Des Moines office, Pittsburgh office, etc. As you can see, we're up 20% from last year. We're doing great. All right, way to go, Pittsburgh. Down the line, everybody leaves. Everybody knows exactly what you were talking about. Short, sweet, to the point. Let's move on with our lives. If after your presentation, people are going, the heck was that about? Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the colors though? Bitching. All right. Then you've ruined the point of the graph. Okay? You have ruined the point of the graph. So please, we're not going to do that. Later this week, we are going to be doing a in-class portion talking about what we call histograms and one or two other graph, well, mostly histograms, where we are talking about, well, what do we do when we have numerical data? Okay, and so we'll be looking at that in class. So I'm going to do those ones in class for you. I will also have a video for you to go back and relate to on that one, or actually probably just record what I'm doing in class on that one, so you can see it and reference back to it. And then there will be an assignment. It'll come out, it'll look very similar to this one. Make a stacked column chart, blah, 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 blah. Make a pie chart, blah, blah, blah. Those are the things that are going to happen on there, and you'll just copy them over, and then we'll submit them. All right.